Alright, so I'm about to try to install a JLD bridge doctor on my guitar. It's got kind of a bellied up look, you can tell by the bridge there. And this is a Maya guitar made in Japan. I don't know, I've never seen one like it, but I'm going to try to fix this. First thing I'll do is I'll take the strings off here, and I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So, this is the system I'll be installing on the guitar. There's a few different places you can choose to put this. The basic idea is we're going to drill a hole behind the D and G spots there, and it's actually gonna sit like this, but you can use it like this to measure. And it's gonna go like that. You want this to rest on the other side, of course, but underneath the bridge saddle there. So the problem with this guitar is there's not much room back here, so that's gonna make it tough. There's not that many videos on YouTube about this, so I'm just kind of winging it here. Got the instructions, but they're very minimal. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small mark back here, and then drill a little countersink hole for the screw head to fit in. So, again, part of the problem is we've got these pins in here, and this is going to be, well, pretend that this is underneath our guitar. We don't want this to interfere. There's a chance that this could bump into this here and not fit down in the hole. So we want to make sure that this sits far enough back here that on the other side it's not gonna interfere. So I've measured this, well, I'm about to measure it and get the exact middle, and then I'll know where to go over there. Okay, so I measured across this piece here, and it's about 14/64 across there. Half of that is 7/64, so I took over here and I'm kind of eyeballed the center in between here and got 14/64 and made, probably can't see it, a little tiny mark there with my knife. Now I gotta drill the hole. Okay, so quick correction on the measurements. That was actually 14/32, not 64ths, and half of that was 7/32. So not that. This stuff. Okay, and I came out a little farther than 7/32, and of course it's not going to end up being exact because your hole's going to move around a little bit. It says to drill with a 1/4 drill bit and drill just 1/8 of an inch deep there, and then take a 9/64, and yes, I'm sure it's 64ths this time. Take one of those and then drill all the way through the guitar. I went out and got some brand new ones so they'd be nice and extra sharp here. And I went ahead and started with the 9/64. No, I started with a 1/8. just so I could get this hole started here and give it a place to sink the bigger one. I'll show you the bigger one here. Where'd I put that? Okay, this is the bigger one. It's much bigger. I just need a place so I can set the tip in that. And I'll start that. The trick of this one is, as you can see, the curve drops there, so I'm drilling on the curve. And I don't want to drill at this angle. I need to drill straight. In fact, ideally I would drill a little bit this way, because my block is going to be sitting on the same angle, because my guitar is bellied here. So it's going to be sitting like that. And so I need my screw to come in at an angle to hit there. So I need to drill at an angle. And that's tough to do since I'm drilling on the ledge. So I'm just going to go straight and hope for the best. Wish me luck. Okay, so this hole drilled with, I used, let's see, what did I use? A 1/8 bit here. I drilled 1/8 of an inch in. And the way I measured that was I took my bit here and I went to 1/8. I made a little pin mark. It's smudged off by now, and I stuck it in there, and it was right at the mark. Next, and I should mention I'm doing all this by hand because you can't control a power drill well enough. I'm just chipping away at this real slowly to get down to the bottom of the mark where I made, and then I'll know that I've gone far enough. And then I'll drill my second hole. Well, it is slow going. You can kind of see the second layer coming along there. Give you a nice tip here. These can be pretty sharp, so you might want to put one of these so it doesn't dig into your thumb. Okay, I've got my 1/8 inch hole made. I'll just put some more light on that. Does that help? And I don't know if that's what it should look like, but that's what it does look like. A little rough, because I did it by hand. I upped my band-aids to duct tape. So you can see, it was really hard to do off the side there. Next, I'm going to take, let's see here. Gonna take the 9/64 set. Do the same thing right from the center all the way through the guitar. Okay. And I'll remind you, I don't know what I'm doing at all. I'm an amateur. So, but hopefully my failings help you some. Okay, now I'm drilling my 9/64 drill bit hole here, and got the drill out. I went ahead and started it by hand, but then I've got the drill now. I've got it on a low setting. That's not that low. But I just take it easy. About like so. You don't want it up on high or anything. So I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I have drilled my second hole all the way through. I'll try to give you a better look here. You can see, went all the way through. A little rough in there, that's fine. Should fit good. I was able to get a little bit of a back angle slightly, which I think will help. And now, my next step, I need to screw this in. I chose to put it in this hole. It works best for my guitar and then fit it in underneath. Okay, I've removed, what do they call it here? Adjustment screw. I removed the adjustment screw. And that looks like that. There. With just a Allen wrench here. This is a 3/16. Make sure you get the right size. You don't want to bust that up or anything like that. Now I gotta screw this all the way in, as far as I can tell. And a little tricky, I'm gonna have to back it out again because it's hard to get it to go in straight. After much trouble, I got this screwed all the way in. It didn't want to go in all the way on any of the holes. So what we had to do is we took a 7/64 inch drill bit and drilled the hole out carefully. We marked where that would come to, and then screwed it in. It's still tight and a little off center, but hopefully that'll be fine. Next step is installation. Okay, first step done. I got this screw put in, and the system is in there. See if I can show you. You can kind of see it in there. It's a little crooked, actually. I need to... Well, hopefully that'll work. I'll play with that in a minute. Next, I'm gonna take the rod, point it in first, stick it through there against the back, mark where it comes on the system, pull it out, and make some cuts. Alright, so I put my dowel in there, point in first. Put it in there, made my mark. There's my first mark there. And I made a little modified tool here. Where'd I put that? I just shortened a pencil so I could get in there with one hand and make the mark and hold the thing at the same time. And then another little trick, I've got a rolled up piece of sticky note paper, and I put that on gently around once I'd marked down 1/8 of an inch, or 3/8 of an inch. From there, I put that gently around, and that helped me make a nice, fairly even circle around there. So next, gotta make my cut. And we're back. I should mention that when I inserted the rod, I had to pull back on the block that was already in here to get the rod, because the block, because it's warped, is at an angle, and it's hard to get the rod up through there. So I went ahead and made my marks. I cut it off. I cut it off on this side of the line, and I think that should be good. Sanded off a little rough edge there, and I want to make sure that's pretty flat, because that's going to be going against the block here, and you want it to be flush. And next, I'll do the inserting, and then stick this little guy back in there and tighten her up. Well, the tension screw was a lot more trouble than I thought it'd be. Got it in there though. This is what I used to cut the dowel. It's not made for that, but it takes a nice little slice. If you've got something better, that's great. So yeah, that's what we've got. You can't really see the dowel in there, but I've already put in the tension screw, and cinch that in. There's a little lip of wood there to get past, and that was kind of rough to find a way in there. I tried sanding, that didn't work. I finally just found a sweet spot and wiggled it in. So I've got it set up. I'm going to do as they tell me and let it sit and mess with the tension, because it can, just a little bit, can make a lot of difference. Mess with the tension and, cinch it down a little further over the days. And this is pretty warped, and it's been warped for a long time, so we'll see how well this does. And yeah, I need to put the little pin on here. I don't know what I'll use. Might just use a little Elmer's glue or something, because I don't want that to be very permanent, in case I need to get at this or remove it if it breaks or something. I don't know. And yeah, I heard one time if you kind of pull down on the tension rod, that can help suck this down. But again, I'm going to take it easy at first and let the wood respond to the new tension on here. Alright, that's it. Hope it's been helpful. Thanks.